Okay, I'm trying to do something a bit new here. So I'm presenting from an Android tablet rather than a computer. So if this all goes pear-shaped, then yeah, nature of a technology conference. Okay, so I'm here to talk about architectural related things. Okay, cool. So I work for Nettleton Tribe, they're an architecture firm. I also work for a company called BIM Edge, which is my company. We do BIM consulting, VR, hardware sales, and all kinds of bits and pieces. One of the things we're doing is selling stuff from this company, HPE, that sells VM solutions or VDI solutions. So if you want to essentially virtualize the whole office and not have desktop machines and computers, if you talk to them, they're based in Texas, you don't have to come to Australia to get it. You can if you really want to. I'll say what I can. Yeah, so I mean, mostly Revit guru for a bunch of years. Always sort of trying to be at the cutting edge of some technology because it's fun. Why not? So what I typically present on when I go to conferences is sort of highly technical Revit things. So I'm going to try and give you more technical stuff than you probably haven't in the talk so far. Hopefully there's some takeaways here. You can go home and use it in your future projects. If you want to talk to me more about this or any other stuff, I'll definitely be hanging out with drinks afterwards. Thank you for that. And I might go a little bit over time, so thank you for running short, or I'll grab that time back. That'd be great. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about this project I've been doing for about a year or so, where we're trying to essentially be using Fuzor directly with the client in this kind of fashion. This is, I don't know if anyone's tried this, whether it's an internal client like your boss or the architect in the office or the actual client, where they want to sit behind you and be the backseat driver and go, no, put that there and put that there. It's pretty good to do in Fuzor. This project was, it's a fairly big site, but it's a couple of separate buildings on, oh, okay, it's okay. So all of these trees were accurately placed from the survey, so they are in the right position, at the right height, and that sort of thing. I've saved that out as a foliage file. This is really helpful because they wanted the view lines from each building to be obstructed so that you couldn't see the people in the other building. And really were having problems showing that any other way, but in here it was really good. And we were able to, this line of trees that's here doesn't exist. We actually used the tree growth feature to see if we planted them now, we usefully block the views later on, which we were hoping for. This is a pretty massive house. I've 10,000 square feet. I had to do it in meters, obviously, but so it's a bit lush, and they spent ages on it, and it was a real passion project for them. So the way that I would work for this is I would have Revit on my screen, and I would basically put Fuzor up on the projector in the meeting room, and they would basically look at the Fuzor screen, and I would look at the Revit screen and do the technical changes, and then they just got to see the pretty pictures and tell me whether they liked it or not. So almost this entire design was done with the client in the meeting room. They wanted to be that hands-on, so there was something like 100 hours of work with the client in the room, in driving Revit and then driving Fuzor. And the idea is basically I could go over here in my floor plans, elevations, etc., and they could just be looking at the view that mattered to them to make the decision. So we go through things like changing doors and changing window layouts until they were happy with it. And there was a lot of flow issues in the building. It was originally designed by an American architect, actually, based on like this sort of old world. I call it the Disney Castle job because it's a bit ridiculous looking. But they really wanted to get this sort of aesthetic, but it didn't really work from a flow and function point of view. So by doing it this way, they really got to see the real-time render finish rather than looking at floor plans, looking at the space. And I got to work in Revit where I was comfortable and easy to make changes rapidly. So they were happy with that. I got to do what I wanted, but as you see, this ability to sort of quickly change something with Revit, have it displayed nicely. There was a pool table in the middle of that room, got deleted. I left the pool cue there. But just being able to sort of walk around and explain to them what's happening in the space and make the changes in some way that I was comfortable. When these meetings were finished, I didn't have any work to do. I didn't have to go and mark up a heap of things on paper, go back to the office, make them, bring them back, check it all again. They saw the finished product in the room, the decision was made, and we got to move on. So ultimately it saved us a bunch of time. So another thing that keeps coming up is there is a design options tool in Fuzor, and you can use that. A lot of the time you've already produced design options in Revit, and a quick way to sort of get those in and be functional so that you can show clients things and come prepared with different design options to show and be able to show them in VR and in real time on the monitor. So I'm going to run you through a bit of a Revit workflow. So if you're not a Revit user in the room, I apologise, but yeah, all the time our designs start out with this, and then the client wants, well, what if it was bigger or shorter or fatter or whatever, and our design kind of gets forked, is what I like to call it, or forked up. So what I've done here is created some view templates that only control one part of the view template. So I come in here I can apply the template properties. You can see it's only ticking the design options on. So you can actually have a design template assigned to the view and just not have to control that one thing. And then I make a number of design options, templates that just control that one thing, and I make one for each type. So this is a fairly extreme example where most of the building changes between the design options. So in this case, it's the entire facade, roof, and finishes. So if I just go to the view that's driving Fuzor and I apply the properties of a different view template, you'll see it apply and then change over in Fuzor. Sometimes it takes a second, and then you've got the alternate design. So it's a really quick way to take your existing things and then in real time you can show them without having to save the video out. And you can walk through the different options. So that's basically the same house with without a I don't know what you guys call it, back porch on house. Has anyone here used design option tool in Fuzor? Design option tool in Revit? Okay, cool. So you're hopefully familiar with view templates and design options. Next thing.
I have a question here.
Yeah.
So when you create design options in Revit, can you transfer? You said you create a 3D view that you export that 3D view to Fuzor with that design template because you create design options.
Fuzor, when you link it to Revit, it's always the graphics are linked to one particular 3D view, and you can.
But do you like to pick that view? Or
you can pick it. The default one is the standard 3D view with the two curly graphics. So all I'm doing is in Revit, I'm applying that view template to that base 3D view, and it'll update it in Fuzor straight away. So you can choose a different 3D view, but I always just use the default. It doesn't look, it's not supposed to do that, but anyway. Okay, so the other one that I've been pushing really hard in the office, and it's taken a little while to get some traction, but now it's an absolute go-to on every project, is using Fuzor to review our designs, particularly when we get coordination models through from consultants. So, doesn't seem like doing the videos. So this video, I didn't go and find a specific model. I just grabbed a model from the office and went through and wanted to see how quickly I could find mistakes. And pretty much the moment I jumped into a room, I found a bunch of mistakes, and you can see the whole services model, all the stuff on the ceiling is not at the right heights. These look perfectly fine in the RCPs for Revit. We loaded in, everything looks the way it should, because the cut plane in Revit is under these objects, they're showing up where they should, but they're clearly not in the right place. So we're finding this to be a must now. The moment we get our stuff from consultants, we load them all in, we jump into Fuzor and do a quick walkthrough, and we find that picks up a huge amount of mistakes, and it's making a big difference on the amount of time we spend doing clash detection and coordination later in the project. We get a lot of this stuff out of the way early by just doing visual checks. I mean, we've got lights coming up through, this is the ceiling on sort of the top of the roof. There's fixtures coming through onto the top of the deck. So you want to mark those up and send it back quickly and say, look, these walls are supposed to go full height, kind of thing. You can't assign a markup in Fuzor to a single one to multiple objects, but you can highlight those objects in the markup so that it's still quite clear to the person what the problem is, not just set it up easy and go for a while. And there's this wall here that, I don't know, it's been here for ages and no one's noticed it because it was above the cut point or whatever, but it just shouldn't be there, and I haven't found it. This is supposed to be a model that's pretty ready to go to the site, and there's stuff like this hanging around that a simple walkthrough and user picks up really easily. So anyway, I use this a lot and we try to make it part of our standard workflow. Okay, so another cool thing that you can do in Fuzor that you can't really do any other way is deal with textured meshes. It drives me crazy that Autodesk do not support textured meshes in Revit. They don't even support their own platforms for these, so you can export an FBX, but you can't import one. So this was a school project we did where, so I went and got one of these drones and this software fixed 4D. And we went out to a school, it's a pretty big school, and we plotted in Pix 4D this flight path, and then hit go, and then the drone went and took a bunch of photos. All the little blue dots are the points where it took photos along that path. And the image on the right is where it's kind of tried to connect all of those photos together. So it finds the points in those photos that match the points in one of the other images and stitches them all together so that they're all aligned. And all of that generated out of those 558 images about 33 million points and a fairly detailed final product. So this was, I don't know why it's doing this blue thing, sorry about that, it's kind of bottom of my talk there. But, so this is the detailed textured mesh. It's an orthomosaic image, and there's a digital surface model here. These are absolutely fantastic to understand your site. So you can tell the color gradient is a pipe gradient on the site, and it's really obvious that that there's a water course through here, and this is the low point on the site and where the buildings are. You can see the flat sports fields that are basically uniform in colour because they're almost dead flat. Our site that we've got a design in is here, so we can sort of see what halls are there, what access we've got from roads or trees, etc. are there. And I can't really do much with this in Revit. I can pull the image in and sit it underneath, it's not very helpful. But if I combine the two of them into Fuzor, well, we missed the start of it, but essentially this is my design in the middle, and I can drop in the full 3D textured mesh. It even brings in the trees quite accurately, these big conifers that are sitting around. I can see the cars. You can see there are certain typologies that are coming really well. The grass is really flat and accurate. These roofs here, you can clean these up in Pix 4D, I don't worry about it too much, but when you've got corrugated iron roof sheeting, it doesn't like that because I'm just trying to connect those together and look the same. But you're able to come into your model and actually check a view like that where you can see what the actual view is going to be outside the windows, and you can really understand the context of the building on the site and see what it is, what the shadows are from existing buildings and trees, and how they're going to affect your building and your site. And overall, this is just, I thought, a really nice workflow that you can't generate any other way. You certainly can't put these together in Revit. It was also really cheap. We got a quote from a surveyor to do a traditional survey, which would have just given us 2D lines. And he wanted about 60 grand to do this site because it's very large. We drove down, launched the drone. It took about 40 minutes to do all the flights, and then we packed up the car and drove home. It was a 5-hour drive, so that's a whole other story. But basically, I plugged into my laptop and did all the processing of this while we were driving back, and we had this mesh by the time we were back at the office. So for a $3,000 drone in a couple of hours, it was a much better outcome than getting a traditional survey. But if you don't want to go buy a drone and faff around with that, there's a lot of surveyors now that will provide you this kind of deliverable, and this is a really good way to use it. Okay, so another thing that I use all the time to, I suppose, make my workflow faster is I try and pull all the things out of Revit that are slowing it down, all the entourage, the site, all of that, I just leave them unloaded or remove them all together and have them as a cache file in Fuzor, so you want to see the whole thing together. You just bring that in, and the main reason for that is how fast this is at pulling it together. So this is me launching. This is a fairly big, heavy file. It's not modeled very well, so this is a library, American library project. I was just highlighting, if you have some problems with your textures, it's good that it actually notifies you that, and you can go and fix them before it goes into Fuzor. So to say, this is a fairly big file. It's 400 meg, even though the actual building's not that big. It's just I have a pet hate for timber batten screens. They seem to be like a lazy architect's fallback when they don't know what to do, just put a batten screen around it. But it also creates an incredibly large amount of geometry in the file because there's all these timber battens. But you can see here, this is loading the cache file, which is all of those buildings, the site, all the trees and everything in the background. And that only took seconds. That's in real time. I didn't speed it up or anything. So our main Revit file, launched that and linked it through to Fuzor, and then I can drop in these link files and bring in all of that entourage and site so that I can see the whole thing together, and I can work with that really, really fast. So it allows you to work quickly in here, but it also allows you to pull all that geometry out of your Revit file so your general working is a little bit faster as well. But yeah, just trying to highlight there's a pretty massive amount of geometry that brought in. I think we're at 6.7 million polys, and the main building was sort of 5 million, 4 million. The other thing I've been doing recently is just trying to see if I can augment my Fuzor model with more detail and more, I suppose, entourage type of thing. So I found this piece of software. It's a fully open source piece of software, so it's free, won't cost you anything. You can download it from this website, makehuman.org. And all of these characters were made out of MakeHuman. So you can make kind of like weird, creepy little doll ones if you want, or civilian characters. But it all just works on sliders, and there's a little video hopefully will go up there in a second. So you basically start out with this sort of ragdoll, and you can drag all of the little sliders. You can drag age and height and all of that, so you can do, if you're doing a school and you want to make a bunch of kids, you can do that. If you're doing a retirement village and you need some old haggard people, you can do that as well. With one click, it lets you add this bone rig. So the bone rig is what you need to be able to animate these things. It actually defines the way the characters will move. And you just click one button and it's got a bone rig on it. So you can go and choose detailed skin effects and all this sort of thing, and go and pick clothes for it. And then there's a bunch of pre-made poses you can go and select. It's got options for hair if you don't want it with bald people. And yeah, I just found the number of things you could vary on this to be insane. There's thousands of little variations and sliders you can do. So you can even change their facial expressions quite specifically. And if you do that, you can give them teeth and a tongue so they don't look super scary or their mouth open. If they aren't going to have their mouth open, you don't add the teeth and tongues because then they have slightly less polygons in the file. But yeah, this I sped this up slightly, but it's about 4 minutes it took me to make this girl and then export her out as an FBX file. And something I was talking to the Fuzor guys about was, at the moment it supports FBX, but it doesn't support the bone rigging and animations that the FBX file supports. So hopefully that's a feature that will come as soon as they finish all the other cool stuff they're working on. Because what I'd like to do is be able to go in and create create what you want to create, and then add those animations into Fuzor so that you can essentially create your own people to walk along those animation paths. So this is some people I made, and I'm just quite surprised to be doing people in the head. But yeah, overall you can make a bunch of these people. The start of the movie is sort of messed up, but you can. Hey, that worked. Cool. So there's a standard Fuzor person there, and then a small child, a big man, this sort of thing. So you can make as many of these as you want and pop them around to use the model right now. But right now they'll be static. They won't have idle animations, walk animations, that sort of thing. But Make Human will let you attach those animations if you've got them on hand and save it out as FBX. So there's also a massive online community for this. So these were some, of course, somebody made a Darth Vader already, that goes without saying, but there's stormtroopers, etc. But it's just on the makehuman.org website under the community there, and there's thousands of different clothes and hats and bags from the car and that sort of thing. So if you want to add, you're doing a very specific job, you're doing a military base and you need to have army men standing around, or you're doing a prison like the last guys were showing, you need to share prison guards, you can go and make them a position. Okay. So adding entourage and presenting design. Cool. So what I want, I suppose, in the future is to be able to use this standard animation tool that lets us, at the moment, kind of drag and drop cars and bits and pieces. Has everyone in the room used Fuzor and used all these animation tools in cinematics? I can skip this bit if people are okay with it. I suppose I was just talking about the way that this tool works and how ultimately it would work if you generated your own ones, that they should just sort of show up in this list. The other one that we do a lot, and it's really become a key part of our everyday kind of thing, is to produce these little cinematics that can be saved out for clients. So they were something that was traditionally something the client specifically had to request, and we were trying to see if we could do it in this rather than doing it in Max and taking that sort of timeline. Typically take us a day for the UViz team to go and create the part and do all the bits and pieces in Studio Max. And then sometimes it would be 5 or 6 hours to render that video out for 1 or 2 minutes and send it off. And we usually charge them an exorbitant amount of money for it. But yeah, we're starting to get to the point where we're sending these kind of videos out of Fuzor, sometimes weekly to the clients, just to give them an update of where we were and see what's going on. We're getting quite a bit of feedback from it. I'd like to get to the point where we're more sending the Fuzor viewer to them. We are having some resistance from clients who feel like that's a little too techy. They don't want to open it and run through and use the markup tools so much. So we're sending them more of these videos and finding that they were actually happy to take screenshots from the video and mark up and send it back. I think that's just kind of a customer education part of I suppose getting better at technology, but the option's available if you're having that resistance. Try sending some videos rather than Fuzor viewers. It's better to get the Fuzor viewers because then the markups are using nice annotation tools and you can track them back in your Revit really easily, but you've got to deal with it. I think the last thing I'll talk about today, probably on out of time already, is just trying to add some interaction. So kind of exploiting a bit of modeling stuff here. Cool. So what I've done here is I model my kitchen as sort of one piece. The whole kitchen is like a super family. And then within that, it's made up of smaller, heavily powerful families, highly parametric things. And then inside of that, there's another shared nested component, which is the door panels on it. So typically these would be on the casework category. What I've done is I've done a save as of these families, and I've clicked the door panels on the door category, which means when you launch Fuzor, the automated door animations come through to your cupboards. So it's a bit of a cheating workaround to give you cupboards that you can open and close the doors. And yeah, particularly doing high-rise residential, being able to put a client into a unit where they can go and play with their actual kitchen was a massive deal. We did this for a big development in Burbank for some of their fancy kitchens, and we created a Fuzor project where we laid out the 3 different kitchen options for the client, and then in VR they could go through and play with each of the kitchens and decide which one was the one they preferred and the one that they wanted to spend most of their money on. And while this is definitely cool in the sort of real time, it it's super fun when it's in VR because it really feels like you can walk up them. So in VR, it's really nice to sort of be able to open and close all the bits. And the other part of it is being able to like test how things work. So you can sort of test what it's like to kind of put things on a shelf and see how the eye heights feel of shelves and that sort of thing. And we were trying to show clients that they could come into the space and the first client asked was like, well, how big are things? So good, we've got a measurement tool right here. So we said, look, you can open the measurement tool and then go and measure the things that's important to you. You just got to click and point. I didn't think to convert these to imperial units for you guys, sorry, there were millions, but the idea of quickly coming in here and understanding this is how much space I've got with this particular sink. And then we can, if this is live linked to Revit, in Revit I can swap the sink out to a bigger sink. They can have a look, see how that looks until they're happy with things. It might be a little while off, but I've been asking for feature requests for a while for us to get some custom animations. So at the moment we can do these kind of animations, but I'd like to be able to do like a swing panel for like a dishwasher opening and a slide animation for drawers opening. And I'd like to be able to turn the taps on and off. So the moment I've sort of said to them, I'm happy to like model a column of water under all of my taps that's got a little visibility parameter and you can just activate that with the interaction. And I also would like to see the triggers to open and close the things have like a collider in it. So when you touch it with the actual hand controller in VR, it triggers that animation. I think that's probably a bit more, let's say, intuitive or realistic about how people want to open things. They want to reach out to the handle and touch it and see it open. But anyway, that's hopefully there's some practical things there that you can go back and use at home. And this was worth your while. So that's all I've got for today. So thank you very much for your time. I did have one more thing, but it was just I wanted to say how much I like the operator mode in VR. I've been using this all the time with my internal lead architect. So has everyone used the operator mode or know how to use it? It basically lets you use one computer to let two people collaborate. So once you're in the operator mode, the VR person can free roam and look wherever they want, but I can still work freely in Revit. So normally when you're in other software and someone's in VR, if I touch the mouse, it's going to move the headset and freak them out. But in the operator mode, you basically get disconnecting those two inputs. So this is me trying to do it with one person. So I do this with my director will be in VR mode and I'll be in Revit and he'll say, oh, I don't like the way this looks, and I can make changes. You can walk around and look at somewhere else in the building while I'm making those changes. So we did this last week actually for about 3 hours. We were in a design where he was just wandering around aimlessly making comments about stuff, and I was making the updates in Revit in real time so you can see what's going on. It's a shorter version of having to do the collaboration tool that Gensel showed, where you really need the two computers, two setups. You can do that similar to this level of collaboration on a single machine. Not everyone's got a bunch of really high-end machines and VR stuff. So, okay, now I'm finished. Sorry.